So, what's tonight about, guys? What? What's it about? What's it about? Woohoo! Now, I want you to rub your hands together really. Rub more. Can you feel it coming? Can you feel how hot this is coming? Can you feel the money coming? Now, really rub it. And then go. That's it, perfect. Give yourselves one of them. So welcome all those people watching this on the members session, and some of them are news streaming this across the country and in New Zealand. We count that as part of our sister country. And now we've got Julia Gillard fixed. It's all done now. So that piece of newsworthiness is now complete, isn't it? Because that could be, now we can get on to some really important things like the election in Queensland. So, and they're worried about it's taking up all the airtime, like as if we want to watch this. So, was that about some money, you think? Is everything about money? Yep. Sex and money. See how it gets your attention immediately? Even glasses are chimed. These things are great when they work, and when they're not, they're not. And really, tonight's about choices. Tonight's about freedom. Tonight's about using money, and tonight's really about money as a servant to you. Money must serve you. Is everyone clear about this? So on your notes, just write this down. Number one, you've got money and all that, but it's okay. You'll gather what's supposed to be stuck to you. So most have already lost it already. So just going to a back page somewhere, just on the very back or anywhere it's free. Just right where you've got a couple of pages in. Most people watching this, if you want to get a copy of this thing, just send it in. We'll give it to you and send it by its email. And I'd like you to write here, as money is a great servant, just a very poor master. Money is a great servant, just a very poor master. What does that mean? That means if you work for it, it's the master. If it works for you, it's the servant. And look at Noah taking these notes. How old are you, Noah? 6? That's 6 years old. That's always the same as 6, isn't it? Mind you, if you're from New Zealand, it's a whole different game. So, Noah, you're a beautiful young boy, and you're getting this at 6. He's nodding, yes, I am. You're building an ark, right? And that's your ark of your future. And animals will come 2 by 2. And if anyone makes fun of you, just say, I'm the ark builder. And if you want to survive, follow me, baby. Because all the others perished. So it's very good. Your mum was very careful and Dad very careful when they chose that name. And a very powerful name. So you wrote that down. You're writing your own writing, yes? And what did you write down? Money. And you write down, money is a servant. Mummy may have to help you with that very big word. Very good. And being masterful with it. Now, if today you work for money, then it was the master of you. Does everyone understand this? Who's following this conversation here with me somehow? Now, we're not knocking jobs. Jobs are great. It's just that there are some people, the older ones here, who've been in that game for a long time. They've got the T-shirt knowing about a job, but they're still doing the job. And they're hoping someone's going to save them. And you're the one you've been waiting for. You're the one. So this tonight really is about decisions, about changing things about money, changing your whole views of money, changing your views that it's not scary stuff. It's not, you know, there's a lot of people with money and makes it terrible, and gold rush and horrible. And my mother told me when I was about this little boy's age that money was the root of all evil, and it's in the Bible. My mother never read the Bible, obviously. And who knows the real version of that? What's it say, Martin? The love of money. The love of money is the root. She forgot to say that bit. Is there a difference between money is the root of all evil to the love of money? So we love people and we use money. Let's write that down. We love people and we use money. Because some of you unconsciously have that money is the root of all evil. Some of you have got it that it's not good stuff. Some of you don't have very good relations. So we love people, Natalie, and we use money. It's to be utilised, right? Money is to be utilised. So these are principles that we know, and I'm going to go through a bunch of them. And don't worry if you don't get all these down tonight, and those watching, it's going to be on the website for you and on the members section. If you're concerned about how to do that, just send us an email. So I don't know how to get on the web thing or whatever, and we'll send you an email to explain it. So if we quickly go through this. Money. What is money? Anyone got any ideas? It's a tool. A means of exchange. And Noah's got his hand up, and you can pay for things, like important things like lollies. You can get for it. Do you get stuff for it? What's it? Get something back. And as you give money, you do it. I was a little boy about his age. I remember in a store, the people was watching and they're getting things from the shop. And the man said, I'll have this. Because that's what they were watching, other people. He didn't have any money. We just, that's mine. No, that wasn't quite how it is, because you've got to swap money for that. Yep. I want you to write this down. Money is energy. Money is energy. And it isn't just pictures of dead people on bits of paper. Money is an idea. But money will work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and never whinge like you. Never complain I want long service leave and holiday pay and sick leave and loadings and all of the other things I was speaking to a young lady today about. Had to work extra shifts at night to try and get money at an extra rate, and how hard that was, and some of the physical work that's involved with this. If you're over 47 years of age, still working for money, then, and particularly if you're a man and doing it with heavy duty work, your legs, your back, it doesn't work. It's not designed to work this hard. And for the women, there's still physical things, but there's that stress that's associated with money, and that will be more dangerous even than some of the legs, backs and arms and things when you're working for it. So as we get older, our ability to labour for money gets less. But when we understand it's an idea and it's energy, it's how you utilise the energy and how you stand in the way. What is financial independence? We'll have a look at this. I buy and or create assets that generate cash flow, which in turn pay for my living expenses, or my life, or how I want to be. I'm getting more in than it's going out, more money than the month. I can do what I want to do when I want to do it. I have choice. That's what financial independence is. I'm financially independent when my income from my assets is greater than my living expenses. In other words, asset income generation. My assets are working for me and I don't work for money. This is all taught at school, right, Kayleen? We missed that class. It wasn't on. What is an asset? My mother thought my house was an asset. She didn't understand it was actually a liability. She didn't understand the difference between asset and liability, because they had more mortgage on or when you have a house, most people have more mortgage than they have asset in that. More mortgage than they have equity. Equity is the difference between the mortgage and the asset value. An asset it's only an asset when it puts money back in your pocket. That's the best way to check it. Some people think they've got an asset because they've got a negatively geared property, and actually it's a liability. The purpose of becoming an investor is to create income. Let's write that down. The purpose for becoming an investor is to create income. Not for you to work for the investment, so-called. As an investor, you are an income generator. As an investor, you're an income generator. Income versus capital gain. What's that? People say, oh, you sell this property, you're going to pay capital gains tax. What's capital gains tax? Anyone like to tell me what capital gains tax is? Tax on your profit? Yep. What's the difference between income and that? Yes. We need a microphone there, so that gentleman right there, Darren, right there, just put your hand up again. It's good because he's going to give you a detailed answer.
A tax on the increase in the nominal value of the asset.
Okay. Capital gains tax, hang on to it. Capital gains tax is the tax on the increased value or growth on a property after 12 months. And who knows that capital gains tax exists? I should get every hand up apart from Noah. Noah's got his hand up. Who can explain to me what capital gains tax is? Now, I got almost every hand up. I got no hands up yet. I know there'll be one or two. But you know when the accountant says, you're going to have to pay capital gains tax, people stop breathing? And I go, and how much is it? Oh, a lot. And I say, how much a lot? Well, Can you see how fearful that is, and they don't even know what it is? And then that stops them because they feel overwhelmed by a piece of information they don't have, but they're not even conscious to that feeling, they're conscious to the fear, which stops them. And this is part of this whole money thing, is where people are in the way of that. So, what do you reckon? How's capital gains tax work, Darren?
Well, it's a percentage. I don't know the exact amount, but I suspect it's around 50%.
And I'm not an accountant. Tonight's not to give you financial advice, but I will say this very quickly. If the property was bought for 300,000 and sold for 400, there's 100,000. That profit is taxable. However, we take all capital expenses out, which could be the stamp duty cost, the legal cost for the purchase, the real estate charges for selling it, and any improvements that are made on that property, any capital expense. That might come down to, say, you know, $80,000 or something. Then you halve it because it gives you a 50% rebate. So we're now down to 40. Who's noticing the numbers getting lower as we talk? And then it's taxed at your rate, which you happen to set it up at 30%. So 30% of 40 is $12,000. That's before Roy gets stuck into it to see what else we're going to do. Is that a different number from what we can't breathe? Would it be okay that you only got $82,000 net? Would that be all right? Could you get by? Just make ends meet? Income tax is when you sell it under a year when we're trading and it's fully taxed. You get income expenses off it. However, it's added to your income and taxed at your rate. So if that's 30%, that's what you pay that. And we're very happy about income tax because there's how many possible deductions are there available with a PAYG and if you've got an ABN as well? Up to 500. Okay. Cash flow versus return on investment. Let's give Darryl a big one of them. That's very good. Return on investment. What's return on investment mean? Because I don't have a lot of time, I'm going to do this in like 15 minutes and I've used up 10 of those. I'm going to just quickly go through these and then we'll just check it. Cash flow is the flow of money. That's the flow, right? So you've got to catch it before it flows away, right? So cash flow is very important because cash is king. Return on investment is the amount of money you put down, like in an option, using $1,000 on an option, and picking up a $50,000 profit. What's the return on investment? 1,000 times by the 50,000, so it's a 50% return. And if it was done in 6 months, it's 100. It's, you know, can you see how many multiply? It's 500% return. And then the multiplying because it's done in 6 months. So return on investment is that ROI, which is a number of how your money's working. It's the shelf life of money. We want to turn the money. There are some people we're working with that on our joint venture partners, they get 10% return on their cash and they get 25% return on the transaction of profit. And they're making more than 20% return on their money. And once they do it once, in 6 months, they'll do it again and use the money again. So they'll have $500,000 in a super fund, and they'll go to 550, and the next time they'll roll it again and make that into 600,000, and they'll roll it again in 6 months and make it, you know, the 600 to 650. And so, can you see the multiplication of that? Risks always involved in those transactions. Money needs a good boss. Who's the boss of money? All together, I am. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. You must be the boss of the money. If you don't, it bosses you. If you're not a good boss, you give it to the bank. They know how to boss money around. You reckon they're good at that? They're very good at making money on your money. They have no money of their own. They just use yours. How about $4.7 billion in profit in the last 6 months on one bank alone? Was that good? Do they know how to boss money? And of course, things are tough, aren't they? You've got to put interest rates up because it's very tough. We're not making enough money. Okay, what are the top excuses for not becoming wealthy? This might not be you. This wouldn't apply to you. I don't have the time. I'm not smart enough. I'm too old. I'm too young. I don't have enough money. These are all stories. And it's the fear of failure, fear of success, the good opinion of others, attachment to outcome. Just understand the story goes on and on and on. Not true. 16 tips, don't try and get them down, we're going to do them real quick. Number one, you need to be educated. It's why we're here, it's why we do the whole of the Life Magic programs. Educate yourself. Who learned some things about money at Life Magic? Of course. Who learned some things that they wish they'd learnt about 5 or 10 years ago? Yes. So this is called financial literacy. Most people go out of school, Noah, and end up knowing how to add up and speak and a whole lot of things, but they don't get financial literacy. Your mother and dad are now teaching you this, and other young people who are in the room as well. Generally doing the opposites of what you thought was true. Isn't that a good statement? In other words, if you've been following 95%ers, don't follow the followers, always follow leaders. Always start small. Be patient and do things using baby steps. Paper trading with 10,000 on share portfolio. Only if you're profitable should you trade using real money. A maximum 10,000 using $5 to $1,000 lots would do that. 100,000 is not needed to commence trading. Similarly with property, using an option with a minimum of $1. Maximum $10,000. There's no need to pay stamp duty. Keep your risks low and your profits high. Understanding what you're doing and what you are involved in. Stay close to home. There's no need to fly to other states to purchase real estate. Purchase where you live or where you want to live. If you don't understand what you're investing in, then don't invest. Stretch yourself by all means and go with natural ability. And of course you can learn and watch people who are doing this. Choose an area to excel in, real estate, business or shares. We're just talking outside about chasing too many rabbits. Don't chase too many rabbits, you get no rabbits. Keeping your finger on the pulse, very important. Play win-win games. Only go into transactions where everyone wins. You'll find this law will knock you out if you try it another way. The law of attraction. And we're going to use this law of attraction tonight. We're going to also use the law of focus tonight and some little fun things. As I say, people are going to walk out of here with money. Real stuff. Understand risk to reward. Often people think investments is too risky, and often the person is the one who is risky, not the transaction. In other words, it's the way you go about the transaction and the research you do to minimise the risk, therefore hasten slowly. So money's trying to get to you, health is trying to get to you, relationships are trying to get to you. We actually just block them and stop them from being. Number 10, choose your dream team wisely using the HOTS, the hares, the owls, the tortoises and squirrels, and the wealth dynamics profile. Most important, look for their integrity and their values. In other words, their character. They'll be, and will they be, their word. Invest in a process, not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a life program. Therefore, don't go for hot tips. We're talking about really building your skills. We're talking about a step-by-step process. We're talking about actually really making this work. Always use learning, rules change, always keep learning, rules change, the market changes constantly. Kelly's just brilliant at this area because she's constantly bringing me up to speed. She sent me some beautiful stuff in the mail the other day, just about what's going on in Facebook and things like that, and just really good. I'm grateful for those things. She's on, she's current, she's always checking. Trev's the same, very important, the rules change. Has rules changed in the last 3 years? The whole game's changed. People are still playing the old game back in 1990s. They're trying to buy property and hang on to it, think it's go up. That game has been over since 2003. And even if you were really successful at doing it, it's been over since 2007, definitely. Have lots of fun, enjoy yourself, congratulate yourself and celebrate your wins. There's a couple of people here, Glenn, right? You guys know about property values, don't you? You went through the hardship of that. And a whole commercial property, all that stuff was just amazing. Number 16, have a plan and work your plan. Some people have a plan, don't work it. Some people don't have a plan at all. It wasn't they failed to plan, they planned to fail. Number 15, work for yourself and get with people who are self-made. This is kind of mentoring in the sense, follow a mentor, get a mentor, follow that, get with successful. What do you think 95%ers hang out with? They hang out with 95%ers. They hang out with people who are going nowhere in a hurry and can't wait to take them with them. Check your friends out. Of course, they're all multimillionaires, all successful, all going really well. And it's not that they're not nice people, but if they're not growing and going in a direction, because if you're playing in a little pond, you have a little fun, and it's very comfortable in the little pond. It takes a lot to get yourself out of that pond and start playing in the ocean of abundance. Move forward to basics. The greatest key that I've found to people being successful in their lives is that they have created a wealth account, accurately completing their strategic spending, regularly setting up their 1 to 31 card, establishing a mission, and choose and check in with the One Life support team regularly. That's the group that work, which is you guys, and tonight you're going to be given new gold cards to work with and set up your March program. So that's the story. Bonus tip. Trust yourself. Check in with your body and how it reacts. It's a great indicator of what's going on. Success builds confidence. Now, you will have to check in because there's a bit of fear as you work out of your comfort zone, but to trust yourself into going to that next level. Be committed and flexible. At the same time, note your friends and their input. They have been watching you, and some are happy to watch you fail. They will tell you, I told you it's risky to invest, but you have to find out for yourself, sweetie. Then you know who they really are, and you've made their day. Because can you see what's going on? If you succeed, they're going to lose you. So what they want to do is hold you down to the same level so that you're still their friend. And besides, if you're right, they would have to be wrong. We couldn't have that. So they've got to be right and you've got to be wrong. That's the only way it works. 6 steps. Number 1, create wealth. Number 2, spend less than you earn. This is rocket science, I know. Number 3, for those who couldn't hear, this was for us. That was for us. Newsflash. Number 3, increase your wealth. So you've got to create wealth. You've got to spend less than you earn. You've got to be able to increase it once you create it, and you've got to protect it, and you've got to enjoy it. And guess what? Number 6, you've got to share it. Now, most financial advisors and stuff, they work on the basis of saying to you, well, give us some money and we'll invest it. We're very different here. We create money. We create it, and we keep on creating, but we've got to also, not only that, we've got to increase it, but we've also got to protect it. Okay, now I'm not going to do this, because we can do this later on. It's just a story about what we do and how we do it. It's not important. You can go and check it out later. It's just a little story. Let's get Kelly up here. Let's get Kelly up here. Let's give Kelly a big one here. Money, money, money.
Money! Here we go. Who does some money along the way, Roy?
Good. On the floor. It's all over the place.
Oh, free.
Free money.
Okay.
So, Kel.
Money.
You're looking like $1 million, girl.
Oh, look, I do try. Not bad for 59.
There you go.
You know, I said that to a couple of people
And
at
they
Live
went-
Magic, and they came up to me afterwards and they said, you're not really 59, are you? I went, I can't believe you believe that. So I'm not going to say that anymore after this moment.
I wouldn't say that anymore, no. I wouldn't say that anymore. I'd stop that one.
Yeah,
right
let's
here.
just forget about that.
Yeah. Just tell them your real age, 17. That's the way.
Yeah, well, I do. Like you and me, it's just like 15 and 17 when we grow up.
Fantastic.
So money. Money, money, money. Well, I mean, I can share that I've certainly had some journeys around money. However, I must say that I've always gotten money from quite a young age, about 11 actually. It was my first job, my first contractor job, of course. I did the deal with the local pharmacy and crushed all their boxes and did things like that. But that did earn me an income, and I really understood that when I did something, I did this activity, then I got paid for it, then I could have things that I wanted or that I really loved. And I have somehow invested this secret into my daughter, who is 11, and she gets money. Like really, really gets money. And she's on, I think it's her 5th business now, and she has made a handsome profit along the way. She's bought herself her Apple computer. She has
Faster than her mother did.
Yes.
Her mother's only got a sticker on the front pretending it's an apple.
Intentions. Setting
this is
intentions.
just trying to get attraction working. But
Yeah, well-
so Lily's got an apple. I didn't know that.
Yes, yes. And
11 with an apple.
and she's got an SLR 1100D camera with a zoom lens, and she's just investing in a tripod. She's been online looking at a great tripod at the moment. So she has a photography business where she took photos of all the different people on Facebook, and then she has an editing suite. She edited them and made them look fabulous, and then she'd pick a quote that related to their personality. So she'd ask like 3 questions about them, like their profile, and then she'd write a quote about them, and she was charging $5 a profile. So then she was doing something 30 a night, and she would just be so fast. She's like, cha-ching. I walk in, she'd go, cha-ching, mama. I go, I love the sound of that.
Tell the story about the clothes.
Yes, yes. So she's always got something going, you know, that she has her intention, what she wants. And I came home one night and she has all these clothes lined up in little piles and names and a total amount and how many times it had been worn, the garb, and then, you know, her expression of it, like beautiful flowers, you will feel good in this outfit, just marketing whiz. I said, what's this? And she said, well, I've spent the evening taking photos of everything and I put them into parcels, and she said, and then people, the kids from school, she's loaded them all up on Facebook where it's free. She said, well, I didn't want to go on eBay because then I'd have to pay a fee. So she said, I put them on Facebook and then everyone bought them. And she made a couple of $100 like in one night. And so then what she did was she was a packaging queen, logistics. She had them all set up and then she put them in little bags, wrapped them all up, took them to school. Now the progression of that business is that...
What about the $5 one that she sold for $9?
Yeah, well, the progression of that is she started getting really wise, thinking, okay. So then she says, Mum, you're going to love this. She goes, see this top? We went up to a fashion warehouse in Brisbane. She said, bought for $5. She goes, sold for 10. So she's already like thinking. So Sunday we went up. She spent $50 on the things that she wanted, and she spent another $50 on items that were $2.50 that she's already sold half of them for $5. So she's in her mind already on her way to her tripod, which is not just the $50 tripod, it's the $380 tripod. So she really gets money, and she creates all this herself. And she's 11, and she has this...
Is this scary? What's she going to look like when she's 15?
She just has money, you know, money just flies. And so the latest, which was last night, my partner Cam's parents came to stay, and you know, she's quite cheeky. She says, I said, so how do you feel about if they were to stay in your bedroom? And she said, oh, that's fine, charge them rent. I said, oh, okay. And then when they arrived, she gave me a hug. She goes, yeah. She says, I'll give you a rent my bedroom to you for $20. And they laughed and they left $20 on her bed. And she goes, see, I tell you, money comes to me.
And just stop there. Just all take a deep breath in because the shock is still going through you. Can you see the courage of the ask? You see, it wouldn't, if it doesn't occur to you to ask. And, you know, the first thing people could say, well, no, I don't think it's appropriate. That's okay. Have my bed for nothing. You know, but if you don't ask, you don't get. And of course, what do friends do with kids and grandparents? You know, do they come with money? They always want to give something, don't they? You know. But do you think if you were the grandparent and you were staying in that the $20 would be well invested? Because there's an encouragement there, isn't there? And there's value. There's a swap. What is money? Money in energy is value adding. It's swapping value to receive something. If you're giving up your bedroom, is that a value add? Is there a giving there? Is there an honouring of that? And you could say, well, it should be free. Well, there are conditions. What is free on this planet? Everything that's valuable is free. Love is free. Air is free. Water is free. Depends. But as a rule, comes out of the sky for free. The things that we pay for are actually very, very minor. What I love about this story is her courage, though, because when I met Lily, she wanted to have a bed. She wanted one of those beds with the 2-story and the little desk underneath, and she was so keen to get that. It was like a $450 thing.
880.
Oh, was it? Okay, and she was saving up, but she was growing at the time, and she was growing bigger than the bed.
Yeah.
And by the time she got the money, the bed had almost passed her.
Yes.
But she was so keen, and this thing with Kelly is that she's getting her to honour things, not here's the bed, here's this. You know, most parents just give things. There's a balance. Now, obviously, she's got a lot of things. She's got lovely school, she's got lovely clothes and various things. Mm-hmm. But there's a balance here. If you want that big $800 bed, you have to do something about it. That's when she started little businesses off.
Yeah, totally. And also, she really gets, because she has her gold card, and she gets, because I have page 30, you know, picture of what I want to create, and I'll laminate it in my bathroom. And she said, well, I want one of mine. And I said, so for every doll that you have, it's important that you find it. And, you know, with the bed and everything else, she gets a picture of it, she writes a clear intention under it. And sometimes if she wants a deal, she writes like the deal price that she wants it at. She says, you know, I saw it advertised for this, but I'm going to create this. And she always does. Like, it's like she's so daring.
And people, you get near her, you want to give her money. I find it hard not to. I go, I'm going to give her some money for the bed. And I go, what am I doing? What am I doing? She's nothing. She's sort of like this big
I know.
attraction
I'm
for
working
money.
on that attraction. Give me money.
She's amazing.
But because she's so just, I feel it's very willing. However, I feel so proud because my eldest daughter is very similar and attracts money and
Very
roles.
successful
And
woman,
yeah,
yeah.
so it's just, as parents, really important for us, but she's my mentor. I learn so much from her. When I have this thought about, I think the tripod, 380, there's one for 50, she says, however, you know, and within, she picked it 24 hours ago, she's made for herself $120 in 24 hours. She said, see, so it's my limits. You know, I heard my own limits, projecting them out, and she was like, boom, and I went, wow. So, yeah,
Just
definitely
on
great
this,
coach.
just stop that, because this is such a big deal, what you just heard. Did you hear it? How many times do we kind of fell short of that, or taken the lesser pair of shoes, or the lesser dinner, or the lesser trip, or the lesser this, or the lesser that? I was with a client the other day, somewhere, I can't remember what it was, and she was with her friend, and she was going, and she showed all the brochures, she's getting married, and she was showing all the things and what it was, and it was going to cost this. I remember who it is now. It's Helen, and Helen's a very good friend of this girl. They came to our program hadn't done our program yet, but came to our intro in Sydney. And Helen looked across and said, so what are you going to do? Well, we've got this kind of cost, so we're going to get this kind of material. Jen, stay with us. I know you've got a big night on. So we're going to do, as soon as money comes up, Jen goes to sleep. And I then said, Helen said, how many times did you get married? She said, once. She said, you're worth more than this. You're worth more than this. And if that's what you want, that's fine. But if you want a different, then that's what it could be. And she said, it was such a shock to her. And she said, absolutely. And it's not like wasting money. It's like, what is valuable to you? What is valuable? How about honouring yourself? And that honouring is a lifting, a raising.
Yeah, definitely.
So here is the mentor being lifted, you know, from instead of the $50, I'm going to get $380, and she'll probably negotiate that down to $280 or $150
Well, that's her
or whatever.
intention, of course.
And is there a margin? Of course there is, but it'll be a better fit, it'll be more steady, it'll be higher quality, it'll be everything. I got a lady here who bought a new car. She's so excited about it. She was going to take that other car, and she said, I don't think we could do this. And next minute, she's got the car, she's got the run-out model, 1670, everything's new, starts, it works, everything's fine. She feels good, her life is free, it's all working. She's even got all the finance. She's even in shock that she got all the finance. It just all happened in a heartbeat. So, and we're not here to get you to spend money, because we want you to make money. However, it's about honouring. As you played this game at a higher level, that a little 11-year-old knows how to play the game.
And it is about honouring. It's about understanding that you can have it for you. However, as adults, we have a tendency to have these little behaviours and these habits and these limits that we've collected along the way. So it's really important to hear yourself at that moment. It doesn't matter how old your children are, that they can start to think differently. And it takes some commitment and time. I won't say it doesn't. I'm a really busy person, and it's like a balance of time that it takes for me to spend the time to go through it with her and show her each, you know, the pathway to wealth and how that looks. So I just take that moment, you know, for each time I take that moment, I stop and I think, okay, so you could do it this way, and this is what you'll get as an outcome. Take the time. She actually, and she's just, she's now captain of her house, you know, and she's not necessarily outgoing, So I was like, can't you just get up there and do it and it'll be easy and, you know, you'll be right. And she said, oh, Mum, I cannot, I can't. And, you know, so there was her limit, right? Then she said, I've got a real block around this. So then we talked about how that could look different for her, how she could have a different outcome. I thought this is going to be so important in her life, this one moment where she goes and does this speech and whatever happens, happens. But if she decides not to do it from fear, and I gave her the book Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, because it was like one of the only ones I could grab quickly in the library. And I said, well, let me see which book. I said, what about this book? And she just remembered Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. So she did get the house captainship.
Wow.
And she said, Mum, you don't understand. This has changed my life forever.
Of all this time I've been on the planet so far, I'm so old.
Forever. And it really has, though.
I would think so.
It really has. Like her confidence, and now she's a mentor at school. So at lunchtimes, she's got this group where people come and they sit and they ask her questions. She's charging, of course, but you know.
Mentor fees, coaching fees, yes. Well, they can be a lot.
She's on her way. She did tell you that she's got her pinned position here. She's going to be one day the CEO of One Life, because she said Roy will have to retire.
Yeah. Roy, Roy, she was one of the first ones to take the photographs and fix up the things. She's got those out.
For
very
free,
quick.
she did. That was your value
one of her
add.
first customers, on the basis that I'm just looking after the business for her as she's getting older. And so I'm just like really taking care of it, because she's already got the seat, she knows where she's sitting. And she
really did have a profile shot. He was one of her first guinea pigs, and she took all his wrinkles off and all his wrinkly hair.
I look so good.
I'll do this for free.
Yeah. I fell in love with me just on that photo alone.
Everyone goes, who's that hot guy?
I even had hair.
She
filled in all the hair. She knows the weight on man's heart.
So it's just a review where you're at as a parent and within yourself, and it's all possible. And we call it our magic, because Lily did say to me a few years ago, how do I get your magic, Mum? And I thought, my magic? She said, how do I get your magic? And then she said what the magic was. And I thought, wow, so she's viewing that, and it is a miracle, isn't it? It's something that wasn't and now it is. You brought to creation. So they are miracles, and it's okay to call them for every moment when you're celebrating that miracle that's come to fruition. So, high expectations of all of you. Look out. Well, what I'd like to do is I would love you guys to hop up and get into teams of 7, please.
And then we're going to come with what does having money
now leave your chairs
in your
where
life
they are.
mean to you? All right, who's learning something here? Who's learning something? Okay, what are we learning? Someone yell it out. What are we learning?
As human beings, we all basically want the same things.
As human beings, you all want the same things. Well done. Perfect.
Very
well
good.
done. Someone else, put your hand up and get a microphone. Go ahead.
We're looking for options in our life.
We're looking for options, and options are choices, and options are great things to get. Well done. Someone else. What else are we learning? Over here. Someone else. Let's get it quickly, guys. Who else? Someone. Each group, I want to hear at least 1 or 2 things from each group. Go ahead.
A lifestyle of which we can enjoy, plus give back to others.
Absolutely. So we want to get and give. We want to receive and give. And receiving and giving are instantaneous. Well done. Perfect.
No limitations with whatever we want.
No limitations?
No limitation with whatever we wish to have.
Yes. Often, if I could give you one tip on this one, is that most of us are focusing on what we don't want and getting lots of it. You know, when we set our goals, people say, I'll tell you what my goals are. I don't work this hard. Well, that's what you don't want, so what do you want? I'm telling you what I want. I don't want to have all this debt. No, you're telling me what you don't want. Can you see what they're doing? They're attracting debt. They're attracting working hard. They're not even conscious to the saboteur.
What really came up was freedom through the discussions.
Yeah. And what even to add on to what Roy said, your languaging. When you start to change your life, you listen differently and you speak differently, because you're not speaking from that lack, you're speaking from the positive already. It's very important to your attraction. Very important.
And is this a life work? Absolutely. Yes. I have meetings sometimes and I go into my lack, and the company suffers accordingly. You know, and so no one's immune Katrina talks from lack, and she's one of the most open, positive people that I know. And it comes up. And, you know, Kelly is like really, really, but she'll go,
Yeah, definitely.
And you know, she'll go, well, I'm going to support this, and, you know, and we all do it at different times. Who's following this conversation here? So, and it's not like being silly and go, okay, well, let's just go for 100 million, you know. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a plan and a strategy, and we're talking about in the Smarties thing, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic. Is it attainable? Is it realistic? In other words, is it raising this, is stretching us that little bit? Tangible, inspiration, emotionally leading to success. That's how Smarties is spelt. And that's what freedom is, coming from a space of abundance as opposed to coming from this lack. And you work towards abundance in the sense of there's the direction, and yet you come from abundance. If you come from abundance, it happens. If you're thinking it's out there, I got to get it, then you're already lost the game. Does that make sense? That's a really hard thing to get when you come from abundance, where Lily's coming from abundance. That's what she's talking about. Mum, I'm going to have this. It's already there as far as she's concerned. She can't see any obstacles. Mum's worried for her, thinking, well, we don't want to get her to, you know, have something too big for her and she will be disappointed. So she's trying to protect her and in that give her fears. Now, it's not her intention. She just wants to make sure she plays a win-win. When she goes, Mum, I don't know if I can do this captain thing and the class thing and everything else. Mum said, well, let's have a different thought. Now, I bet you, Mum didn't spend a lot of time on that conversation tonight, but I bet you she said, and what's the worst outcome? Where you are now, that you didn't get it. If that's the worst, could you live with that? Yep, okay. So everything's up from there, isn't it? So, but we know for sure if you don't go for it, you will not get there.
It'll always be no.
Exactly. So you go there. The worst case is you didn't make it. So feel the fear and do it anyway. Go for it. And guess what? I won. Wow. Can you see that? What's the chance of winning if she doesn't go for it? None. Who's following that conversation? Of course, you know all this. Knowing and doing can be miles apart. You're doing good. Let's hear some other best things here. What did you learn? Thanks, Jen.
It's probably been basically covered what we came up with, but choices, freedom, security, and just being able to give back to people.
Well done, well done. Beautiful. Anyone else? Okay, you did a great job. And here we go. Choices, feeling alive, stress-free, abundant life, taking charge of your life, dream home, travel, time with family, giving back. Abundance for the whole family. These are just some of the ideas.
Well, and surveys do show, because I do keep abreast with what's happening out there on the planet, the top 4 are dream home, travel, time with family and giving back. And you probably all noticed that that came up in your circles. And it's like, wow, how would life look given that I could have that? Yeah, the question.
I'm going to suggest, if you could be as bold to think this through, that the ones who are struggling were focusing on this is going to be hard, I can't do this. And that will be holding you up. And the minute your focus is, oh, this is hard, I can't do this, or I'm overwhelmed, or whatever, then that's going to be a result. The universe will always deliver what you focus on. So if you're wondering what you're focusing on, just check your results. Even though you're not consciously focusing, because you could be wishing for one thing but praying secretly for something else. You know, the wish and the prayer cannot match. You know, it's like, this is what I want, this is what, but I don't think I'll get it, I don't think I'll get it. Every time you say, I won't get it, cancels out the one you want. If you read your gold card once, but think all day negatively, can you see what's going on? Your gold card's being cancelled out. You've got to be predominantly focusing on your gold card. You're predominantly focusing on what you want, predominantly focusing on not what you don't want. And if you're focusing on your debt, money's not showing up. You're focusing on how much you owe. Had a diamond call today, and they were just in a bit of a state, and they were saying, oh, you know, the payments, the money, I got credit card, da, da, da. And we went an hour, we went and just did the redo the money, and they went, oh, I forgot. You had a pile of money in the wrong boxes. All it needs to be done is refocused. And all of a sudden, I said, what's your best thing? The best thing is we've focused back on what's going on, really not focusing on what is not working. Who's following this conversation with me somehow?
And just to add to that, often clients say to me, I say, why are you not doing these things? You know, they've got all the ideas. They say, I haven't got enough money. I haven't got any money. And so that's one thing that we really focus on here. If we took all the money away, showing you the opportunity out of your life. It's like, how do you make money out of what we educate you in? And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to show you areas that you perhaps have not had your attention on. And therefore we go backwards in life. So we go forward. We could go forward in life. And we could go, there's money wasters and money makers. What if we could show you, we talked about this earlier, how to make an extra $800 per month, or you know, there's a few more days in a month.
4.345.
Yep.
Roughly.
Without spending a cent. Would that be of interest? So we're going to have a look at some money wasters. And in that area, what we'd like you to do is have a look at how we can save $100 per week, and I think you'll all be very surprised, on our money wasters. Remember, it's not forever. It's to get to win, to a place of winning. Money makers, how to make $100 extra per week. Do you think that would be interesting? How do we do that? What I'd love you to do is come and stay in your teams when you get back, but come and get your forms here, please, and your pen. Go back to your teams, because we're going to have some more fun. I'm going to really explore this.
You guys are doing a great job.
Great job. I can feel the money coming in.
Yeah, who's already a little concerned about the wastage going on? And you might have to have a change here. That's good. Who's already thinking some ideas of how to make some money? And it's all clear that if you save $100 and make $100, you're $200 better off? All understand that, yeah? Per week.
Okay, so go back to your teams and sit down.
If you want to pick a chair up because you prefer to sit on a chair, that's also okay. You don't like sitting on the floor. If you want a chair, that's quite okay. Just pick a chair. Or if you want to sit against the wall.
Let's go through understanding needs and wants to build your money. The wants: alcohol, cigarettes, furniture, expensive cars, overseas holidays, shoes and clothes with an ES, dining out, buying lunch, the big house, the extra big house that you have to have, wasted groceries, shopping just to feel good, that retail therapy. And needs is, if we have a little look at that and we go, so everything in moderation. A little alcohol, how does that look? Keep the furniture you have, you know, or renovate it a little bit. Keep your current car, holiday locally, shop carefully, buy quality, look for sales, appropriate dinners out, so, you know, to consider, like, what is appropriate to you? Make your lunch instead of buying your lunch every day. You'd be amazed. I mean, I went through this with a friend a little while ago, and we looked at how much, like 2 coffees a day, I think they're like $4.50 or something. It was $9 just in giving up those 2 coffees a day, but, you know, buying it in a different way, like buying a coffee machine and making it themselves. Keep or sell house you have, careful shopping, and feel good in better ways, different ways. There's so many ways that you can feel good that's for free. So, I mean, do you relate to that yourself? Yeah? So we're going to look at 5 ways to reduce the money wasters and create our money makers. So first of all, I want you to have a look at your wasters. Now, I must say I've known Trevor for quite a few years, and Trevor and I were working on this evening and the content, and I know, Trev, you have a couple of great stories, and one that was, that's how, when you looked at your money wasters and money making, you looked at how you got your first property. Do you want to share that with the guys?
Yeah, sure. Trevor, why don't you come up, because it'd be great. Who knows Trevor, by the way? So for those, quite a few, but not everyone, Trevor's a business coach. He's our head coach now at the One Life team. He's also has a degree in business. He's also, in his life, been a broker for many, many years, and a very, very large brokerage house in borrowing funds and stuff. So he understands all of the requirements that banks look at, how to borrow well, how to do it wholesale. Very smart operator, and a very successful business person. We're grateful to welcome Trevor into our organisation here, and we're going to hear a bit more about what Trevor's up to and some of the coaching programs that Trevor and Kelly are setting up for this new 2012-2013 year. So let's give Trevor a big one of them. That's very good. Well done.
Thanks, Kelly, and Roy, thank you. This is very close to my heart because when I set a goal some years back to start getting into investing and building my wealth, I did a lot of work and study around budgeting my money. And I was making reasonable money as a corporate executive in Sydney, but I could have lived really lavishly. I was making enough money. I could have gone and bought the expensive sports car and lived in a really cool apartment, but all my money going out. But I was proud to say that I refrained from that, and I really carefully went through my wasters and my makers, and I started to develop just a simple process like Roy teaches us around how we budget our money and we put money away. But I really started to get down into the nuts and bolts. And I know it might seem a little bit trivial, but and a small amount, but I even started looking at the coffees that I was having, and I was in a relationship at the time. So me and my girlfriend had set a goal that we were going to buy our first investment property together. And we used to go and spend, say, $3.20 on a cappuccino, and we found this little coffee shop in Circular Quay in Sydney, because that's where we were travelling and working to, and it was $1.20. So we used to go and buy our coffee there, and I'm not saying it was the nicest coffee in the world, but we still got our coffee hit, and we were saving money. And she being, a young lady, she loved spending money and buying nice things, and I was always on her case. And yes, Trevor, I'm in my budget, I'm looking at it. I even got her to sell her car, actually, and we downgraded her car for a while because I was really keen that I wanted us to get into that property. And we found a comparable car, but it was a lot cheaper and more affordable to run. But anyway, cut a long story short, we saved $50,000 in 1 year. And we went and bought I scouted around and went to look for a really good area that would be an affordable investment property. And we lived in Sydney at the time, and I found Footscray in Melbourne was going to perform really well. We flew down there for 4 weekends in a row, and my mum and family live in Melbourne, and my mum would make our lunch on the weekends, and we'd go house hunting, and we got our first investment property together. And I really attribute it, going all the way back, to understanding the importance of managing money wasters and money makers. So it really is, from my experience, a very, very valuable exercise. Thank you.
And how much did you make on the property?
Well, we bought it for $200,000 and we sold it for $340,000.
Wow. Yeah, $140,000. Because as people listen to that story, Trevor, it's a great story. You think, well, you're saving a little $3 here, but you spend a pile of money going on airfare. But that's a holiday too, and there's sort of fun in that. And it's all
I
about
listed it all for tax
stuff,
deductions.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to make $140,000 to give up some coffees and car and stuff that maybe isn't there. So that's a great story. Who's getting this idea what we're talking about here? Now, the trick is, it's what is appropriate to you. We're not trying to get you to live on the smell of an oily rag. We're really wanting you to look at areas of wastage. Now, there'd be no one here in the room that would have magazines being delivered or books that's sitting by their bed that are half read or half, no one's, oh yeah, that would never happen. And how much food did you throw out last week? Do you know that the average Australian family is throwing out between $3,000 and $4,500 of food a year? $3,000 to $4,500. This is the over, the expiry date. This is the I meant to eat this. This is the take-home ones that you didn't quite take home or you didn't quite finish, or the ones from the restaurant that you took home and you never ate. All of those things, wastage. How much you go and buy a garment that you really didn't like, but you're in a hurry, and then it's stuck in the wardrobe, and then you looked at it for 2 years, and not that you should wear it. The trick was, how did you buy it to start with? Because you need to give it to someone, because you're not going to wear it. The energy's wrong, everything's wrong about that. you know, how many watches can you wear? How many pair of shoes can you wear at once? How many times does the men come home from the shopping with more things, more shampoo, more things, but it's the same they've already got? Because they don't have a list. But how many women do the same thing? I have so many toothpastes.
Oh, yeah.
I have so
And black
many...
bags.
Oh.
Got a lot of black bags.
Yeah. Every time I go near a bag shop, I kind of get dragged into the bag shop. My kids, there's a bag shop, and they hang on to me as they, and it's a joke now. They just try and drag me away. And the men go to Bunnings. And some of the women.
Yeah.
And there'd be no men here that like to come home with a gadget or two, or this phone's not good enough, it hasn't got the bells and whistles. And can you see, this is all of the stuff. If it's really building and delivering the best for you, then that's great. If it's not, then it's not. So we want you to be quite realistic with yourself now in writing this out, this list.
Yeah, totally. I mean, just really consider, I mean, is there a gym membership that you're paying $50, $60 a week, whatever it is, and you're not really going, or is it that you only really go once a week and you could actually, I mean, on the daily deals, you can get 12 weeks of gym for $100. You know, so it's just thinking differently too. It's like, how can you make those changes in your life and whether you're willing to. And if you have cable TV, I mean, do you need to sit and watch that much TV? This is the time management. Could you think, I'm going to focus 2 hours instead of TV, give up the cable TV, and those 2 hours I'm going to put into my investments? How does that sound?
Do the program, do some, you know, working on yourself.
Educating yourself.
Yeah, and, you know, who's noticed since they've done Life Magic that they don't watch as much TV? Who's noticed that? Pretty well most hands go up on that one. And who's finding they're more selective on what they do watch? Yeah, because there's so much junk. People watch a lot of junk, and then they try and flick through to get something on, and if they can't, it gets that bad, they go and hire something.
Yeah.
The average 95% will watch 27 hours of TV a week. You might say, oh, that's not me. Yeah,
Yeah.
good. They're good ones. But if you might think, oh, I don't, just check it out and see. If you put it on when you first get up in the morning while you're having breakfast, and then you come home and your first thing you do is put it on while you're getting whatever you're doing, and then you fall asleep with it, that's a hint. And if it's, you know, on Saturday and it's on, and the sport and the movies, and then on those really bad, horrible times you hire, you know, just notice what it deals with, and you think it was so bad I'm going to get cable, as opposed to why don't you get your life instead of getting cable?
Can I just share one more quick point on this, Roy? There's a very, very important element to this whole process, which is, I think, the number one underlying way that it makes it work is deciding what is an extra $10,000 going to do for you, put away at the end of the year, and what are you going to do with it? Because really for me, doing that exercise was I had a clear intention of what I was going to do with that money, and I worked on it constantly. So normally when there's no target to go for, when there's no target to go for, $2.20 doesn't really matter. But when you are determined that it's going to do something that's going to improve you and your family's future, $10,000 becomes so important because you have it attached to something that has great meaning. So all of a sudden the dollars and cents really do matter.
Perfect. I'm going to just say one other thing. There's a balance here. For some people, 10,000 would be a great holiday. And that's great. And let's make another 10,000 you're going to make as well to invest. So, you know, there's a break. Or if it's 10,000, 5,000, 5,000, you know? Or if you say, no, I'm holidayed out. You know, I mean, the whole life's been a holiday, really doing nothing. So, you know, the whole lot's going to go because I've got to catch. It could be also going to go into the wealth account later on where we talk about how we reduce debt with our money that we're making money. And that's as important. Or it might even be an investment into yourself, on yourself and the value that you are, because you are the money creator here. You create money by your knowledge information. Well, firstly, we're going to look at wasters though, aren't we? Yep.
I'm going to, the top 5 wasters that you feel that you'd like to make a decision on tonight and the dollar value that's going to save you.
And if, just last one, if you're with your husband and your wife, ask them what they think. That'd be dangerous, wouldn't it? Now, if they say, well, you waste money, no, I don't, and we go into an argument, and then we'll have the fisticuffs. if it means a lot to you, and there are some things that your partner might think is a waste, but to you think it's very valuable, then stay with that. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not about giving up things you value. Like there could be someone here who says, well, look, I like going to Bunnings and I like buying a little tool or something once every week or whatever. And all you need to do is make it appropriate now and have yourself a little strategic spend on that to say, okay, that's my amount I'll do. Some people like to play the poker machines. They say, I'm only prepared to lose $10. That's it. Then if that gives you so much pleasure, then do it. Mind you, if you hear it, I only like to lose 10, why don't you just throw it away, you know? But, you know, if you like to go through the process of the excitement of all that, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, go with it, guys.
Did anyone have any real epiphany on what they spend? Did anyone say, oh, wow, I can save some money that I didn't even know I could save? Who would like to share?
Nobody.
Nobody. That's not the truth, I saw.
Okay, let's start again with a better question. So, who's having some fun? Who's learning something? So what did we learn? Let's get a hand up on that. Come on, be brave. Here we go. What did we learn?
We actually don't.
On your chin, thanks.
We actually don't know where our money is going.
That's a great thing to learn.
It's being eaten.
So where's your man? There he is. So I always start with he's keeping another woman and you've got a drug problem, right? If you start there, that's the best place to start. That explains everything. But the money knows where it was and the money knows where it's been. And you can track it. Once you get on your strategic spending and have a look at your credit cards and stuff, you'll be amazed. When people do their strategic spending, often we show that they have 10,000 over or 15, they go, no, it's not. And then it's all the things they didn't write down, like the Bunnings and the gadgets and the other women and the gambling and the drugs and the thing. But it's tracked. So that's a tremendous thing. Who thinks that's a good thing to find out? Who thinks that they're the only person in the room with this issue? Who can relate to this in any way? I'm just curious. That's everybody. Everybody. Despite how clever Trevor is or Kelly or Roy or whatever, we have money called slippage. It's sneaking out and going. Now, what is Trevor's story and Kelly's story and what really Lily's all about is one word, consciousness. When you become conscious to it, you then become the witness to the game that's being played here. When you're unconscious, you just go out and you have no idea what happened. You know, when people come back from a shot, how'd you go? Oh, great day. Really good. Really fantastic. What'd you get? I don't know. Let me have a look. Oh, yeah, look, I got this. It's like a surprise. It's in the bag. Everything's a surprise. And everything comes back to memory, but your credit card knew exactly where you were, the exact time, which store. But most people are unconscious to what happened during the day. Well done. That's a great thing to get. Just if you were to suggest, to guess, where do you think some of the slippage is going for you? Shoes?
No.
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 Women only lie 780 times a year. Men lie 1,100 times a year. And a woman's lie is always, it was on sale. That's a standard woman lie. It was on sale. Oh, I've had that for ages. Yeah, that's the one. I've had it for ages. As opposed, it was a bargain, yes, on sale. And men are always, oh, I'm on my way home. As we speak, I'm on my way. He's just drinking his last drink again, like he's just ordered another 3.
Just a roadie.
And it's, I haven't drunk much. Oh, yeah.
One glass.
Sure. Okay, what do you think?
Just on food and...
You just eat a lot.
We do.
Okay, now let's be more clear. You eat perhaps something inappropriate spending on food. In other words, it doesn't necessarily give us the kick we want. Do you eat out? Do you eat out at night? A lot?
Takeaway?
Takeaways? Yeah.
But then there's drinks, like we'll go to the petrol station and we'll have, you know, a coffee milk and then another coffee and protein
$8,
shakes and
$10,
protein bars.
$15.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can do protein, you can buy the whole whey pack, you know,
Oh,
mix
he did
your
that
own
as
up.
well.
Yeah, and you can do that. You know how there's a big difference in price what you do. And that's valuable, you know, because it gives you protein and all that stuff, and it's actually cheaper sometimes than buying steaks. However, it's how you do it.
We'd still have to buy everything else as well.
Yeah. And some people here will choose to buy organically and buy from Flanagan's and all that stuff. And that's also okay. If that's where your value is, then that's great. You see, it's not say, well, we're going to have mints or we're going to have, you know, expired things. We'll go and start reading the Woolworths disposable where they throw it out thing. No, we're not saying that. Yeah, they give that away.
But also perhaps exploring the opportunity of getting, because I use protein powders and super drinks and things like that, and I find they give me my extra energy. However, that forgoes a meal often for me, you know, or in between meal.
Correct.
But
Same
however, we buy it wholesale.
Yeah.
I mean, you do too. So what we do is, you know, buy it, like research that to be able, if I'm buying that much, it's like buy it more in bulk so that you're getting it for a better price, or find friends that want to buy it together.
Exactly.
So it's just
Simone buys the stuff she buys, beautiful, the most
Totally.
outstanding stuff, but she buys it in bulk. She's just got her own little website done, her own little thing, and she just buys this stuff. We buy it by the case. And she said she's put orders in, we buy a lot of stuff, very, very high quality, and get it, you know, like we're distributors almost.
Yeah, so it's just thinking differently. Like okay, so that's taking up a big chunk. How? How can we reduce that without, in
Balance.
moderation?
What do you think? You want to pass it on where you think the money's going?
Yeah, that was... I just see we spend a lot going out.
Going out where?
That's it. Eat takeaways, because we'll do groceries, and then we'll have a late night. I have a hard day at work, so we'll go home. We'll just go get Macca's or sushi, and that's like I've done.
And how often is that in a week? There's a head going down there.
I would say.
Most nights.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a hint.
But I've done a lot of things like I haven't been drinking, or I used to gamble a lot, stuff.
So you're recovering.
Yeah.
You're a recovering alcoholic gambler.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. What were you thinking when you selected him? You weren't, were you? You were just in love. That's what happens. There you go.
He's very lovable.
He's very lovable. He's cute.
Yeah, he's very cute.
I hit the gym instead of hitting the pub now, so...
Okay, hit the gym.
But that's great, right? So you've taken that one step, now this is the next step.
Yeah, that's
Perfect, perfect. And it's a question of balance, you know. If you're achieving what you want, if it's wastage, it's just what's appropriate. It's always about appropriateness. Good job. Thank you for sharing that honesty. Really good. Well done. Anyone else want to share something? Yeah, so we want to get some breakthroughs. Go. Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. We're going to go to the top.
He says, I got a story for you.
Oh, yes. We don't actually have too much in the way of wastage anymore.
No.
Although my major sin, of course, as you well know, is cigarettes, or it was, until last week, which I gave away.
Whoa!
Impressive. How much do you reckon you've spent on cigarettes over your life?
Over my life, ooh, well, you could probably put 150 a week, you know, times 52, times 40, you know, that would go.
I've done some numbers with a person. How old are you? You mind saying, Bullion? How old are you?
I'm 56 this year.
Okay. You would have passed more than 1.7 million in cigarettes if you started at about 18.
11.
11's good start. So you'd be over 2 million.
Yeah.
Now you don't notice that that's the compounding effect of what happens for money too, because it's not just the money, it's what the money didn't buy, you know? Like, if you, that calculation's based on just taking the money off you and putting it in at 10% and just compounding it. A couple of million. So, and let alone what the lungs have done, you know. I paid a lot for this. Oh yeah, you have paid a lot. You know, and the damage. And I know because I'm same as him, I started 11 as well. So we, birds of a feather. However, there was a point in my life at 28 where I said, that's it. Now, luckily, I stopped then. You kept going. 28, if I'd kept going, I probably wouldn't be standing here now. My father died of lung cancer. And, yeah, dangerous stuff. So, and a lot of money. How much a pack of cigarettes, how much do cigarettes cost?
Oh, I don't know, $19 I think these days. 17, 18, 19, something like that.
For carton.
Oh, no, for a pack, just one pack.
And how many do you go through?
$19 for a pack?
Yeah,
One
25,
pack?
yeah.
How many do you go through a week?
For a pack of cigarettes is $19.
70
25,
in a carton.
25 for...
25. Well, when I gave it up, it was 7 and 6.
Yeah. When I started, it was 10.5p.
So that was 75 cents a pack. I think it's gone up a bit. $19.
Yeah.
That's an extraordinary sum, isn't it?
Yeah. Wish I'd bought shares earlier. Could have made a fortune.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's great. Now, and do you want to add some more? Or that's...
Well, yeah, on the other side of the coin, of course, I mean, I noticed on the maker's side, you know, sort of getting lower credit card interest. I mean, we've actually gone the whole hog. We haven't got any credit card or interest, you know, for one reason or another. It's big fat zero. So we don't have any money now. Company's got money, but we don't have any.
Yeah, well, that's a safe place because you run the company.
No, I'm only an employee.
Okay. However, your company's profitable.
Yes.
Very profitable.
Indeed.
And it rewards you well for what you do.
It appears to.
Yeah, and it may have even some money to invest in the short to medium term.
Indubitably so.
Absolutely. Buccaneer. Okay, what else do you want to add to this? Is that it?
No, I think that's about it, really. We don't have a great deal that we can slice and dice anymore.
I know. I think what you've already added is a lot of slicing and dicing. And you're now in profit cash flow, which is a complete turnaround. Again, do you mind if we share this story?
No, go for it.
People, who knows Johnny here? Just a few of you. I just say the story because it's such and he's such a proud, a person of great integrity and being willing to share this story. I tell the story many times, but the highest borrow I ever had on credit card was a dentist, and she had borrowings of, I think it was $257,000 in credit card debt, which is a lot, isn't it? Imagine that much. And then I've met a man who had over 300, about 330,000. Johnny had 440,000 worth of credit card debt when I met him about 6 months ago. 126,000 a year in payments before you got up to buy food. And he's a very big earner and a very big spender. It doesn't matter how much you earn, it's how much you spend that counts. Now, they had a good time. They can't remember the times they had, but they'd just get on a plane and fly anywhere. And when I said I had a goal once to just get on the plane with my credit card and take nothing, and we've done that. Buy all the clothes when you arrive and everything. Let it roll. Now, you heard what we just said is we don't have that anymore. We just have profit now. That's a big shift. That deserves a huge clap. Well done. And when we shared this story back about 6 months ago in the room, there was silence and the people weren't breathing because they came in, as you would, thinking you've got a lot of concerns. You had a lot of bills and you had a lot of credit card until they heard John and Andrea's story. Had no concerns at all. Thought we had a worry. He thought I couldn't find some good shoes to wear until the day I met a person who didn't have any feet. And any shoes would have been good for that person. It's interesting how your worries can change. Right down here you had a hand up, so you want to share something? It's a very hard story to follow, but not that you should try and outbeat this one, but you were talking about cigarettes.
I was just going to say that even going through duty-free, you still pay $70-odd a carton for cigarettes.
Gee.
Yeah.
$70.
Yeah.
We used to, in the old days, some of the older people may remember, that, who remembers the days when petrol was a tax deduction and used to get the whole lot back? Who remembers those days? I mean, it's still tax deductible now, but not the same. Well, I shouldn't say this on film, but there was my brother, who was a twin of mine, would go in and he would buy petrol and put his cigarettes on the petrol account. And therefore the cigarettes were tax deductible. Imagine a brother doing that.
I can't believe that brother of yours.
Oh, he was unbelievable what he would
always
be up
in
to.
Trouble.
And I used to love cigarettes so much, I would never get without cigarettes. I used to buy them by the carton. In fact, if I couldn't get I would like the carton. If I could get the carton in my mouth and like that would be a really good cigarette. And I used to have so many cigarettes going that I'd often see one going over here and I was smoking at the same time, another one, I'd have three of them. And I talked so fast and the cigarettes were going and it was just coffee and cigarettes and crazy, absolutely crazy. Yeah.
That's a big one.
Oh, huge.
Big
and
one.
People would say, can you not smoke here? And you would look at them and say, where are you from? You know? Because you'd be smoking
Doesn't
in the
everyone
restaurant,
smoke?
you know, like Or in the plane, you know, you'll smoke, everything was smoke. And I used to think I was the Marlboro man. I'd just give me a horse. So, yeah, horrible days. I'm glad it's over.
I think we're going to get on to money making.
Let's get into that.
Because all of you have the ability to make money with some extra time. And I did say to some people that said, you know, we're doing really well with our saving. And of course, our grads. A lot of people fed back to me, since Life Magic, we've been doing really well. So we know that you're present to where your money's going, or more present perhaps than what you were before. But it's time, and I would even put this on your fridge and just check out in the week when you, now that we brought it to your consciousness, about where you do spend your money, and think, because you watch it show up really quickly. The money makers, how would we like to make another at least $100 a week loving what we do? How does that sound?
Who's interested? And who would, if we finish this properly, like to add a nought to that as well? Can I tell you, it begins with the first $100. It's like when we go to the first 20,000, then we go to 40,000, then 80, 160, 320. When we get to the first million, do you think we stop? No. We just know that it keeps on going. If we can get you to create this, we know we can get you to add another nought to that.
Yeah. It's like I was educated that the first 100 was always going to be my toughest 100.
Correct.
And then it was like my first 100, my first 10,000, well, yeah, 20,000, 10, 20,000, that was my first 100,000, then it was like my first million. So it was always like seeing those zeros, and it's just, if you really get that, and you know you've created that in your life, it's just another zero. Just another zero.
And what's a zero? Nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing. You know, when you're earning 120,000, 140,000 a year, and you're looking for a pay rise, you don't wait for your birthday to go up, or an extra 1,000 or two. You go up in 20,000s. Right, Johnny? You go up in 20, 30,000. Am I right? This is the numbers he works with. You don't think, I'm hoping to get CPI. You know, like, it's a different mindset around the money. Those zeros become quite large. So it's just a different mindset. So this is very important.
So it's looking at what you love. What is your passion? Do you have a hobby? Is there something that you do that can make you money? I mean, we have one of our, let's say, JV partners that we work with, Matt and Liz was a knitter, you know, and then she designed a blog around knitting, and now she makes $2,200 a month out of that blog around knitting, because she just wrote a little handbook, right? She loved it, knew it, got a blog, the blog was free, and wrote it, and now people buy the book from the blog. So it was just thinking that way and thinking, how can I do that? So it's really important that you think about, what is your passion? I mean, do you love washing cars? Can you go and say, okay, so commercially it's like $45, $50 to wash your car, do it for 30, do it for 35, go and pick up 4. You want to do it on a Saturday. One day you're giving up, you're buying your time, you're buying that TV time that you're going to put into making that extra $100. It's just that $100 that we're looking for, because the other, when you get beyond that, just flows.
So 2 cars, $100. And it doesn't take you long when you've got the car washing thing done. You get a kid who'll do the car wash for $20 and you pick up 30. Do you follow? You'd be happy with $30 extra and get a couple of games, young man? Possible? He's laughing. Question, how bad do you want the game, or what's next, or you want to take that beautiful lady out for dinner, you know, and she wants the entree. So that's a leverage game. A bookkeeper we know that started with us, and she never did bookkeeping before, or she wanted to get some money. She had a single mum she was, and she could only work from home and stuff, so we got her to do bookkeeping. She learned to MYOB, she started charging like $30 an hour, Next minute she's got 5 women doing bookkeeping, and she's picking up $5, $10 an hour each one of them. $100,000 in income, three days a week. Because she's got these women doing this, and she then comes and checks it out. Mainly small businesses that she's doing that with.
And it's even things like Lily's idea of going to fashion warehouses in Brisbane, because time is of the essence for people. They don't have the time, and you say to 4 or 5 year girlfriends, how about I will buy you such and such, and you put a fee on top. You say, well,
10%,
10%, 20%, exactly.
Probably saved that in the negotiation for them anyway.
Yeah, totally. And then you go up there like we did, and shirts that were $30 we bought for $2.50. So she could sell that anywhere, you know, from
15, 20 bucks,
yeah.
whatever.
So it's just thinking differently. Going, okay, do I have 5 friends that don't have time? Go, okay, what are your sizes? What can I do? There were so many. There was about 30 warehouses in Brisbane.
So what Kelly's really saying is go with your interest.
What
if
you
dogs,
love.
if animals your interest, go with that. If it's IT, go with that. We've got a lady here. Trev, can you give a microphone to Jane here? Because I want to talk to Jane just on 2 things right here. Jane, you was just sharing with me, you've saved yourself a pile of money. You did this exercise some time back when you first did our program.
Yeah,
how much you saved yourself in a month?
I went through all of the bills, like the electricity and the phone and every bill that we have in the house.
Yeah.
Like when I was doing abundance, I got all the forms from One Life and I had to write down what I'm spending, and I had no idea what I was spending. So I had to come up with, you know, a budget. And I went through every single bill and negotiated, rang up the competitors, rang them back, got one against the other, and eventually I saved about $300 a month just on the ordinary everyday bills that normally you think, oh well, the telephone's come in, there's nothing I can do about that, I've just got to pay it. And the water rates have come in and the rates have come in.
So that's $3,600 a year if you did that just for 10 years. How's that? 36,000? And how much you got to earn to get the 36,000? You got to earn like 50 grand to pay the tax to get the 36. So that's a 50,000 saving. Hard work, isn't it? And now you're doing something you really love.
Yeah, well, the other thing I just want to mention is about the banks. Roy put me on to getting credit cards at 1.something%, or you know,
1.9.
Yeah. So anyway, recently I borrowed $15,000 from INZ at 1.99%, which I put straight on the mortgage, which is 8.something%.
Perfect.
And then I rang up ANZ and I said, now when do I have to pay this money back before I have to pay any interest? And you know, they wouldn't tell me. I had to ask that question about 5 times. They didn't understand what I was asking. And I had to ask about 5 times, and I finally got the answer. And I borrowed the money on the 23rd of August, and it has to be paid back by the 13th of August. Aren't they?
The following
Scammers,
year. Yeah.
So it's a year's loan, but they've cut 10 days off because they're going to get you. So just be aware of that,
Yeah,
because they're going to have
words.
my money back on the day.
Yeah.
Because it comes out of the mortgage back into there. So instead
Or they can charge you, but they're not going to charge you for the whole lot. They're going to charge you on ongoing at a higher rate. If you go to ANZ right now,
yeah, but if I don't pay them back on the day that it's due, then I have a whole month's interest to pay on $15,000, and I don't at 20%, and I don't want to do that.
And if you ring them, and Kelly, you dropped all your interest rates. I know I did too.
Yep. Yep, I did.
Went from 19% on a card to 11 and a half.
I got 7.9.
7.9, bit better negotiator.
Yeah.
She's staying abreast of these things.
Yeah, abreast.
Another really good idea is to know when the fee on your credit cards is due. So if you ring them up before they've hit you with the fee, like it might be $150 on a credit card or $250, if you ring them up before and you say, look, I know that I put $2,000 or $3,000 a month through on your credit card, well, they know that, but I'm really not keen on spending $250 on this card because there's a lot of cards out there and $250 is a lot of money. How about you just don't charge me this year? They will invariably say, okay, we won't charge you. And I do that on a lot of my credit cards almost every year now.
Yeah.
And you
daring
can save
to
a lot of
ask
money doing
the
Daring
question.
to ask. Perfect. And you found your slot, you've got your little website, you've worked out your own building thing, you got your first one done, you've got a second one now underway, and you're negotiating to get a third one that's bringing in $130.
I'm negotiating number 3 and 4 at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a wonderful thing she's taken on. Now, I remember a lady at Abundance stepping up in the first day or second day or third day saying, this is probably not going to work for me.
Yeah.
Remember that lady?
Well, I'm still struggling with mindset. I mean, I'm not saying
You're the
I'm
only
completely
one.
there, but I'm still struggling with it. I've got a civil war going on in my head at the moment, which is
Civil war. Yeah, it's a localised one.
Which one side saying, oh, come on, don't be stupid, Jane, you can do this, now get on with it. And the other side saying, stop it, I'm scared, don't do this.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But no, it's a civil war. It's not it's a localised one. It's not an international war. We didn't have to go to Afghanistan. We just walk around with it in their head. Who can relate to that story in any way? You got the whole room there.
Yeah.
I'm just grateful you shared that. Fantastic. Good job. Well done.
So money makers. So let's even right down to the point we're asking the question, if you work somewhere or you're a consultant, an extra 1 to 2 hours or 3 hours a week. It's like, could you, I'm really looking at saving, even say it to the people you're working for, could I do an extra 3 to 4 hours every week? Because I've got a goal and I want to reach the goal. Ask the question, I can tell you, they'll say, well, you know what, there was this thing, and I thought that if you don't mind doing it, there you go. Dare. So let's take the next 5 minutes to write down areas where you can make some more money. We're looking for at least $100. Think outside the square.
An honest man could have an honest woman. Your woman's not here, or your friend. So, how lazy are you?
Very lazy.
Yeah. How old are you, Nate?
Almost 19.
Almost 19. You want to see 20?
Yeah.
I want to change that. Now, all I know is that's not true.
Yeah.
That may have been your past, and if you keep it up, you won't get a good chick.
Yeah, no, it's not a statement of despair. It's a statement of, you know, I can see.
Realisation.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, it's an old story. So what's your new story?
Action.
Wow. Well done. And precise action. You can motivate an idiot and you've got to motivate an idiot. And what we want is to inspire people with precise action. All wealth ultimately is precise action. Consistent.
Yeah.
Do you know the wealth formula, Nath?
No, I can't say I do.
Does anyone know the wealth formula? Yes. What's the wealth formula? Value, leverage, plus constant control. Conscious control. So we add value, and that's what we're talking about here tonight, adding value. How can you add some value? And then how can you leverage that value? And how do you get consistent and conscious in the control of that? Yes? Now, that's what this game is really about. If you take this formula down, I've never met a successful person who doesn't understand this formula, whether it's conscious or unconscious. Yet I've never met a 95%er has no idea what the formula is because they've been swapping their life for money. I'm going to give you a new formula tonight. I'm going to get you to write it down. This is the most important formula to create what you want. And here's the formula. Some people have never seen this formula before. Financial goal. What's your financial goal? Whatever it is. Minus your expenses equals, guess what? Income. So, what you want is your income to deliver your financial goals, less all your expenses. Make sense? Does that sound like a good formula? Who's learned that formula from school? No one. So what people do is they try and get an income and then force it backwards to try and think, well, I've got to meet my expenses, and miss out on their financial goals. Because your financial goal stands alone. I want to be successful financially. I have some expenses. And therefore, if I add a plus to this, then I get the right formula. Does that make sense? So this must be a plus. Most will go the other way. Make sense? So I want, my financial goal might be, I want 100,000 a year. Plus, I have an expense which is 50,000 a year. So the formula means I need to get $150,000. That's my income. That's my intention now. Make sense? Most people are trying to fit whatever the fit is. Now, the truth is, we've got to still work within this and get clear about not waste. Otherwise, we'll end up with 200,000 or 300,000 with income, but it's still not enough. Okay, where are we with this? We're going to talk to a few people to get some feedback?
Yeah, love some feedback on what was your experience?
Who'd like to share what they experienced? Who's had some fun? Who's really got some value here? Okay, let's get some... Who's got some outcome? Yeah, microphone right there. Someone else, I like two at least. Someone good. Go ahead, William.
I'm just being unreasonable now.
That's the way. We love you to be unreasonable.
Yeah, negotiating with Queensland Rail for this new financial year. I can get at least 100 a week just doing that. It's interesting though, because I suggested to them, look, I tell you what, keep the money the same and I only come in for 4 days. They said, no, you're Nelly.
Yeah.
So I want you for 5. I said, why? I'm a nuisance. And they said, yeah, we like you.
Yeah. Can you hear that terrible negotiation? If we can just replay the tape, but do it a different way. It's getting... There is no benefit for what that conversation was about. If you could get it to hear them, let them get this message. I'm going to increase your outcome with the team in the following 5 ways. I'm going to therefore increase your bottom line to get this project done quicker, faster, smarter and less. And they're excited. Can you hear how they're listening? Because we're laying all the benefits out, whatever they could be. However, I have some conditions. Not only am I going to do that, I'm going to do it for the same money and I'm actually going to do it in less time. I'm going to actually only do it in 4 days. Who can hear a difference in this conversation? Can you see the difference? It's very important, Sharon, hear that.
It's a great story, but unfortunately it's one that I have used.
Well, it's not the story you told me just then, that's the only thing.
No, but you're right, because in actual fact, Queensland are not interested in value for money. Quicker, faster and all the rest of it. That's not the way they operate. They actually want you there because they're paying for you to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole negotiation stance, if you like, is actually contrary to what you have expounded.
Well, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's so totally true for you.
Well, it isn't actually for me, but that's what they want.
No, it's totally true. Everyone who can get this is totally true for him because he has that belief. When you have a belief that that's true, then that will be true. It has to be. It can be. There's no point me adding anything to that because it's true. You don't understand, Roy. Queensland Rail is only, and he will even show evidence to say why. You understand? So if it's his truth, you see, that's his truth, so that must be the outcome. I have a different truth.
Yep.
And my truth is that even Queensland Rail wants value for money. There could be some individuals who don't see that, but I can tell you Queensland Rail does, despite his belief. But whilst he has that belief, that'll be true. Do you follow? And we could have an argument. I love this man. I never want to have an argument with him. But who's learning something? Just curious you're learning? Because could it be possible that you might have a belief system like that about something? You don't know what's going on, right? I've got to go home and be with a man or a woman who has no relation to what we just did. Can you see that? That could be your belief. If that's the case, then this has been a waste of time for you. You could have a belief that you go home and say, it's a fresh start, I have a new beginning, and I want partnership in money, and I want alignment. You see, if you have that belief, then you might want to have a different conversation. Because there's always a conversation. It's what is the conversation. With Katrina and I, we have partnership and alignment. Do we agree on every single thing? No. Have we had some interesting times? We have. However, she'll go out of the room and then come back.
I'm left there.
And she'll say, I want alignment with you. I've made this a commitment. And I said, darling, I'm so grateful. And look, let me apologise to you. And we don't go for compromise, we go for alignment. Let me hear you, and what is it? Do we get it right every time? No. But you've got to listen. When you've already got what is known as already listening, there is nothing going in, this is what it is. Who's following this conversation? Now that's a massive growth for you because you are the resistance against all money coming to you, all things happening, all events occurring. And it's in your consciousness. And you can have, and John can have a different story about this if he wants.
No, I've got a new idea now, thank you.
Okay? See, a different story showed up.
And that's real, right? Because we're consciousness and energy. And you feel the energy behind when people speak. And that is true, and that is their reality. And like Roy said, there's so many people in life, but your reality will show up as to what you say, where your attention is, where your intention flows to.
Think about swapping the orange where your attention was.
Well, you know what I loved about what you just said is going home tonight, say to a partner, and expecting a different outcome. Tonight's the night. It's going to be a different outcome. If you truly believe that that's not going to happen,
you'll be right.
You'll be right. You know, and it's not that anyone else would have a different outcome. This is your life. You're the only one. You know, when we're here as teachers and we teach people and they're like, oh, but this and that, it's like, okay.
That'll be your outcome.
That'll be your outcome. We're not going to war with you on that. It's just that we know that there can be a different outcome, but it's going to take that one moment where you think differently and expect, or even if you can't get out of your own way, just go, tonight, I'm just going to be open to it. And
you always get what you expect.
Yeah.
Always.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, you're right again. Yeah, you're always right. The ego always wins, it's always right. But imagine, we had a young man here who says, I've discovered I'm lazy. And he took this as a positive thing to say, so I'm going to give that up, I'm going to go into action. And if it's not tonight, and for a woman going home to a man, if it's not tonight, it could be another night, or there's a game plan, a strategy, if you will, to set this up. Women, I'm talking to you really. You're powerful, 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 beyond measure. You have skills beyond measure. And there's always a listening for a man, beyond measure. And men, you are powerful. Powerful beyond measure. Because you know who's really walking with you? There's someone greater than you could possibly imagine who's in this game with you. If you'd hand it over to that, and hand it over to the power that is there, with an intention and an outcome that you want, partnership, alignment. Just get it out of the way. So this is going to be part of your mission around your money, because I want you to be, if you go, who's done my 1 to 80 day plan, 1 to 80 days? Put your hand, nice to know if you've done that. In the second couple of pages it talks, be the money. Remember that? Think like the money does. The money thinks differently to the way people think. If you go and read it again, you'll see it's there. Be the money. How does money think? It doesn't ever think like a human. It thinks like money. It's energy, consciousness and energy. Okay.
And even to the added benefits of accumulating some dollars, we have a bit of an opportunity if we wanted to share. I know we're not supposed to, but we could.
Could we?
Could we?
Who would like us to share a secret? Anyone like a secret? Well, and we're under strict instructions, right, Trevor, not to share this?
Could you please turn the camera off?
We've got to turn the cameras off. Close the doors, lock everything. Go for it, You want to just...
Well, because these are all our beautiful One Life graduates, and the offer I feel would relate to the guys in this room. We are preparing for your place where you can expand your dollars. We're generating an outstanding accredited coaching program, which is going to incorporate a level 1, level 2 and multi-level 3 coaching programs within it. The type of income that is going to generate for our One Life grads is unbelievable. I mean, the minimal, I think the baseline coaching program...
$50 an hour, it's about $30,000 a year on 3 half days a week.
Yeah. 3
half days, 12 hours in an entire week, $30,000. Next level, $100 an hour, is $60,000 a year on 3 half days, which gives 4 days plus 3 half days off, and we provide all the clients. And you can be in this area. Now, we've spoken about this before. We actually, Kelly and Trevor are involved in a bunker for the last 2 days, writing and doing the finishing touches to this program. And at Life Magic, we're not supposed to say, but we're going to release this. And there are people in this room that are coming to Life Magic who are going to be part of the coaching program.
Yes.
And I'm going to take on, and Kelly's going to take on, and Trevor's going to take on a number of these people and do some personal work with them to leverage this. And I believe that anyone in this room, anybody, totally anyone in the world, you're all coaches. You all talk to your children and your wife and your daughter and your various ones, some better than others. And if you're serious, make a difference. And if you want to learn something, teach it. And the coaches will work in areas such as health and well-being. Who's interested in health and well-being for themselves? Who's interested in relationships for themselves as well? Who's interested in time management? Who thinks that could be valuable? Okay. Who thinks even financial matters like we're talking about here? Who thinks business and wants to learn that? Can you see? Now, there's special ones like Jane, who's special with how to coach a person, and she's already doing this with our clients, on how to set up their websites and how to get their website to go, how to set up a web to be able to work out what Dr. Klaus teaches and what Lachlan teaches, and how to get because I can't do that, but she can come over in a couple of hours and set it up and make all your screens right. Is that valuable? Hugely valuable, great leverage. And she got that out of one of our programs, was trying to work out how to get $250, and she came up with this idea, and she's done many $250 since then. So that's coaching.
Do you know, even the knowledge you've learnt this evening, if you just did that and could teach people how to make a couple of hundred extra a week, how do you think that would go down? If they think, wow, I'm going to be making at least $200 more, do you think they'd pay you 50 or 100 out of that? Because that's going to accumulate.
And do something you love to do, love to talk about. We had a lady, Penny, who loves decluttering houses. Who'd like a declutterer? I spent this weekend decluttering one section and moved some boxes to another place in the room. But no, it looks really tidy. I've done some, I did throw some things out, which is quite amazing for me. And there is a specialty that you love to do. People can coach people with how to deal with animals, you know, dogs and stuff and things. It doesn't matter what it is, but our coaches are going to be raising the standard about their powerful enrolment for themselves in this, and just put an outstanding situation.
And also, it's fabulous for people that want a business or want to go into property or going to have a team. You'll learn motivational leadership skills, you'll learn system skills.
Inspirational skills.
Absolutely, all of those. So, you know, if you think, well, maybe I totally don't want to coach, but our training program will be unbelievable, it'll be really high calibre of people, of like minds together. So they're skills that you will take through your whole life.
It's even believable.
Yeah, even. I know.
And, well, wait, there's more.
Oh.
Should we tell them?
No.
No, okay,
yes, go on.
okay.
And then the tsunami.
Yeah, then the tsunami comes. On top of this, we have a One Life Direct program which we're releasing really absolutely this time, and the One Life Direct will have people earning substantial sums of money with enrolment programs for dream teams and other things. And we're thinking another 30 to 50 to 60,000 a year, maybe 100 or some, and there'll be people in this room where that actually happens. So if you put your coaching in your One Life Direct, which these guys are writing and putting it together, this could really have you guys really rocket yourselves forward. Instead of taking 3 years to get out of a job, you could be out in a year.
Well, also, I mean, if you just love sharing with people, I mean, look at the value that you have gained. If you feel like, you know, you just love saying to your cousins, your work colleagues, why don't you go and try out a boardroom or you know, go and educate yourself. Look how it's changed my life. For you, just doing that invite, you end up with 10% of anything all the way through. You know, their sales, and what they'll do is they'll bring their family, and you know, it just, I invited my chiropractor and he brought 3 people, and then they've told their wives, you know, and I mean, just
goes.
That's how it happens. So that's really easy, that one. That's just like, if you're interested in that or interested in the coaching, come and chat to Trev or myself, or even you, Roy.
Yeah, that work could even do. Yeah, I'd be
after this, because we're going through an assessment process and we're just accumulating the interest from our grads at the moment. So
expressions of interest here. Firstly, who'd be interested in knowing about this? I'm just curious. Look at this. Wow. Okay. Wow, that's almost everybody here. Another thing which we shouldn't say.
Oh, okay.
Everyone most of you here in the room are graduates of our program, both some Abundance and quite mostly Life Magic now. There's a revisit on Life Magic for you guys tonight for $750, which would just be food, basically. And in that program, we're going to be releasing this little package, and it'll be the best in first dress type thing, because we're actually taking people through that program with Kelly, Trevor and I in that process. So if you really are interested, and it's not a condition, but I can assure you it make a big difference if you're in that program as a revisitor, because it not only will motivate you, inspire you, but it will actually give you the terms and conditions and the details of that. I've got a couple of people who are coming into that specifically for that reason. So who'd find that valuable? I'm just curious to do a revisit. Yeah, again, most of you. So again, talk to him. And I know I'm asking unreasonable things because it's on this week. It's on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're only going to hold 7 places for that. So first 7 who come to him, we'll do that. And you don't have to, you know, but 7 people here probably will. All right, so there's things we're not supposed to say. And you've never heard anything here. That's just because you got a star, and a creator over here. And you never put those 3 together and then talk about it. And then the people go, what have you done? And then they pick up all the bits because they, don't they? We'll be in big trouble. We'll be whipped.
In trouble.
I mean, we could show our slashings on the back where the whipping will happen, and go all together, yeah.
Poor Roy and Kelly.
Yeah, and Trevor.
What's our book of the month?
Well, that's a good thing, but we've got a lady, Fiona, who's got the microphone, and she's going to share her best thing.
Absolutely.
For me, it was when Trevor said, it's not forever.
Yes.
Because I've sold myself in this fabulous story that my pampering is not wasting.
However,
I reward myself a lot, even though I don't do anything.
You can go
I've got a real roll on this one. I've got this fabulous story going. And when he said that, it made me look at the wasting side, that it really was actually wasting, and I could do more things with my time and the money.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be forever. If you just get that rolling...
Exactly. 180 days, 90 days, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Get the game. You can turn your ship around in 90 days to 180 days. 180 days is an enormous amount of time, but still be working after 17 years. What was happening? Do you follow? You missed something there. And just on what you said, Fiona, so valuable. Every decision has consequences.
Yes.
In fact, you are the result of every decision you had, and all your consequences in life are all about that. And some of them were poorly made, and the consequences were enormous. Yeah. And likewise, with every great decision you make, there's consequences. And all we're wanting today that you walked out of today with was the value that if it's giving you enormous value, keep it up. But if it's only temporary and not, you know, it's just because we're not happy, so we went and bought a new dress or something, or a new pair of this or something, most stuff is because we're not feeling good. And people eat when we're not feeling good and eat the wrong things. You know, it's like most people they're in such stress they just do whatever, and they'll go to an addiction. Soft one or a hard one. TV, pornographic, gambling, eating, spending, hair, something, clothes, whatever it is that you're into that gives you what's called relief, you say. Like a warm bath that gets cold in time. You know, going to a movie, you can only distract yourself. Better go to what it is. Come to quantum being. Come and see Katrina. Work out something. There's plenty of other solutions. If your mind's still in stress, then you're not at peace.
I've got a cleaning lady that, you know, at Life Magic, we said that, you know, that it helps you give up space. But with my eating program, I'm wanting to move more. And at the moment, I'm so stressed because she's not cleaning the house properly.
You might as well clean and get the exercise.
I'm just like, that's $30 a week.
Exactly.
That was easy, top of the list.
Perfect. And I encourage cleaners if it will give you leverage on your life. It's no good. We had a lady, she used to get the cleaner in, she used to just read the book while they're cleaning. Oh, sorry, lift the legs up so that, you know. And the cleaners used to leave. She said, I don't know why they're not staying. I said, because they see you as lazy. You see, now she heard it eventually. There's nothing wrong with having a cleaner as long as you're out earning more than they are. If they're paying $20 an hour, 30, and you're earning 40, 50, then that's a very smart move, particularly if you like that better than cleaning toilets and vacuuming and ironing. But if you're just then eating more things or watching TV or, you know, whatever, it doesn't really make any difference, then that's not really going to help you. Good job. Well done. Fantastic. Okay, now, Law of Attraction is our book. And the money and the law of attraction, which is just happens to be this. Now, we've only got 5 left. So there'll be the first 5 who get them. And we've got people, where's our winning team?
The orange winning team.
So you guys are all going to get a pick, but you can pick any book, not just this one. Any book we have, okay? It's just a $27, that's on special anyway, 27 bucks. The other one, this is a terrific, Cracking the Millionaire's Code. This is a fantastic book. And it's only 20 bucks. So, highest recommendation, get this. I mean, they're all good. Every book we've got out there is good, but pick a book. In our goals, we have 1 book a month, remember that? I do a book a week. I used to take, like I'd never even read when I couldn't read. I was illiterate. And I also have my spelling problem and all that stuff. Until I got and cracked the code. And now I enjoy reading. In fact, I very rarely go to the toilet without a book. Seriously. That's another half a chapter gone, you know? Yeah, I can read. Who's timing? I'm talking number 2s here.
I think she thought you pooped it.
I did.
Ow!
I did. Bombs over Tokyo. Here we go.
Oh my God.
Oh, look, Roy. Now you're going low.
Listen.
You're going, hey.
Show me the money.
Show me the money. Okay.
Show me the money.
Now let's show me the money. Guess what? Who has attracted money in their life tonight? Gee, we're slow. It took a while. Okay, checking under your seats right now, there's some money for some.
Who's got the money?
Whoever attracted, there's an envelope.
Riley.
I've got some.
Oh,
I've got some.
that?
I've got, who else is more than that?
Chairs in front of you.
I got some. Check your seats, guys. I got some.
I got some money.
There's more than that. There's more than that. Check your seats. Send in the man. We're sending Noah. Noah's looking.
Okay,
There's
put
more
your
than
hands
that.
up if you got money. Hands up. 1,
2. There's more.
2,
She's
3.
found some.
Oh, look at the 3.
Okay, you found some.
Yeah,
okay, open up your
1, 2,
envelopes.
3.
What do you got? $5.
$50.
$50. What do you got? What do you got? How much is yours? How much? How much is in there? $20. $10.
Oh.
So somehow that was attracted.
How amazing is that? Ages. What ages? 17. 15. 20 years old.
And 25. 25. Yeah.
8.
As we go on, we can
8 and 12.
25. Well done. Okay. Now,
Sure, there's a lesson in that.
you want to do that?
Yeah, no, I want you to do that too.
Okay. This is the bank, the Universal Abundance Bank. Nice bank. This is a check coming to you, any amount. Your job, Jim, should you take this mission on, is to write yourself a check for the end of this year. And you will write the amount.
Remember, it's not forever.
Now, I'm talking
You're
about
only
new
saving.
money that's going to come to you through saving, investing, creation, whatever. And I'm talking about, let's call it the 1st of March, 2013. And I'm going to suggest to you that the amount would be like $20,000. That would be my minimum amount as a starter. Now, some would say, I'm happy with 10. I'm not talking writing 1 million, I'm just talking about a realist. Is everyone realistic if you did what we're showing you here? That we know where 10 is, there it is there, okay? $800, you know, a month, you know, there's like 10 grand. And don't forget savings are included in this because the savings will go into your wealth account. So 10 grand, 20 grand, what amount would you like to write? Whatever it is will be right. Attraction. Some of you got your mouth open.
Can I just add something
Yes.
to that? Underneath the dollar amount, write this or,
Or
better.
more.
This or better
Yep.
comes to me.
And obviously you put it your name because it's payable to you and you sign it because that's the universal signature for you. Now I want you to put this up on your mirror somewhere and see this, and those watching, if you want to get one, just send us an email, I'll send it to you. And watch it, and if you put this in your gold card too, I'll tell you, I'll bet money that this shows up in its total.
Yep.
If you look at this every day.
On the fridge.
On the
in
fridge,
bathroom,
wherever you want to be.
yeah.
I know a lady, she's got it on her cart.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
Where you can
on the
view it
dash.
every day, yeah. Great idea.
If you want to give it to us back, we'll laminate it for you and send it to you. If you've got a laminator, get it laminated. You can go in the bathroom that way. But get clear, yes. No, don't put it in the bathroom. Don't laminate it. What's the quick? Give a microphone. We've got a. Don't put it in the bathroom. Find Shang's Wei thing. We'll get a story. Microphone.
You
Best
don't
place?
put your intentions in the bathroom.
Okay.
You're draining them away with water.
Okay.
Where would you recommend?
So wherever you see them first, as you wake up in the morning on a wall that's solid, you could put it on the ceiling above your bed.
Yeah.
But the best spot would be in front in the office where you're sitting, and your
Office?
vision. It's in your constant vision. It's in your
And
view,
it's your workplace. Is your
it's
action
your
place?
workplace. It's your action place. So your organization, your money is where you put. So you don't have it around. Your bedroom is your rest place. So it's not stressing you. And your bathroom is your draining spot.
And how do you know all this information?
I reckon there's a program there. I think there's an income there.
I think there could be. And
She doesn't want to charge for it. She keeps giving it
no,
away.
Rita is unbelievable
She's
when
not
it
only
comes to
she's
this
actually
information.
believable.
She is
believable.
She is so believable that I cannot believe that
You
she
can
is
believe.
so believable.
You can believe.
I'm joking now.
You can believe.
So Rita, tell us a bit about what you do.
She was the girl who made sure that the shoes weren't against the wall when you brought your shoes off, and she pointed the shoes outside. Now, of course, Mona, the shoe trainer, has already been downstairs, and she's got the shoes organised, because some of you foolishly had yourself walking into the wall. But when you come to go out tonight, you'll find your shoes are walking away from the wall, because we had the shoe fairy go down there and get that fixed for you. But you can't have your shoes pointing into the wall because you can't go anywhere. If you're wondering why you get held up in life, this was a Rita remarkable magician thing.
And she is accumulating, so I'm sure she might even have an offer for everyone tonight.
Come up here, Rita.
Come on,
Meet a maid.
making an extra.
Let's give her a big one.
200 a week.
What are you going to do, girl?
Okay, well, what I do first of all is I do energy flow creation, and I use the tools from Feng Shui, numerology, and color, and I integrate the three modalities. So it's not just Feng Shui, so I'd use things like your birth date and the number of your house to tell you what the energy needs to be, what colors you need to use around you to attract things.
And hasn't she got the colours handled? Is that amazing?
Yeah, and I'd even tell you emotionally what's going on for you by the clothes you're wearing, the colors you're wearing in the day.
I hope I'm doing well.
Yeah, so that's what I do. The offer I can give today is, normally I charge $360 for a Feng Shui consult of a home. I'll do it for $270 tonight.
$270 tonight. Wow, that's fantastic.
And what about an emotional offer for these people tonight if you were going to do a consultation on them physically, like personally?
Oh no, I just do it.
Okay, so that could be...
That would come from love.
That could be, because the challenge is, right,
could include
for a lot of people, would you agree that if someone says, oh no, I'll include it, or I'll do it, no, I just do it for free, you don't want to ask. At times it's like, oh, I don't want to ask. So you're doing yourself a disservice.
Not honouring.
What could that be?
But the thing that I do is actually, my biggest thing for this whole thing is service, because for me, to see other people grow and
prosper
from that is my biggest gift.
Especially you.
Mm-hmm.
So
would anyone be interested in Rita doing a personality
hands up.
outfit? How many?
Wow. I do it for $10.
20.
I think we should bring Lily in here.
My fee structure goes according to what my numerology is, and so I do it for 10 or 27 or 15, whatever anybody's.
Well, would 300 work and put in both? In other words, 276 plus.
Yeah, so if you want me to do your...
With 300 work?
Feng Shui and 300.
It's for both.
Okay, so
and how long would it
home-
take to do one,
A
each
Feng
one?
Shui consult takes me about 2 hours.
And how long does it take
home
the other one
consult.
to do?
That's about...
The person.
It takes about 15 minutes.
Okay, so in the
15
same
minutes.
consultation,
Yeah.
you'll do it and do it for 300?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Who's interested?
so-
Just curious?
For the home and the
But there'd be
person?
stuff.
There's a few of you.
Okay, so for
Go
the
see-
person though, there are a lot of people interested in just them.
Yeah.
They'll talk to you afterwards.
Okay. So,
We'll make a deal afterwards.
okay. Oh, look. You're just hopeless. Well, I've got to stop this. Put you in a box.
No, I've actually come out of the box, and thanks to everybody else around.
Okay,
me.
well, you hold yourself in your own area of that. That's very important. Okay, good job. Well done.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Okay, you've done your checks, complete, signed, dated, and the date should be, it should be 2013, the 1st of the 3rd, okay? 2013. Hold it tight and put it up there, get it done.
Where you work, where you can see it all day, every day. And we would love to hear your stories when that comes to fruition. Love to hear it and share it. So to wrap up tonight, we do have Open Your Mind to Abundance and Possibilities on the last page. Now, really, really quickly, if you could just put something, fill out one of each of those. How do I take better care of myself? Because these are the foundations for you to be your wealth.
Just quickly,
How can I
one.
improve my happiness? One thing.
Just one.
And then you can fill it out later. What do
one
I
on the top.
appreciate about my work? How can I better organise my money? And what do I love about myself?
Thank you so much. All right, and those watching this at home, I would recommend you have this little workbook, go through these things. And if you don't want to get the workbook, I'll just tell you the quotes on it. I'll pick it all up later. How do I take better care of myself? That's the first one. There's 3. How can you do that 3 ways? How can I improve my happiness? 3 ways. What do I appreciate about my work? And this is a very inspiring thing to make it not drudgery, but say, I've got a chance to really do something here and learn to leverage myself. How can I better organise my money? What a great statement that is. And what do I love about myself? And so that could be really powerful. All right, now, just a bit of homework, guys. Who's learned something, by the way? Who's had some fun? Just close it down for a second, because I just want your attention as we finish here tonight. And I'll give you the call when we want to do this. Obviously, you all know this one. And who has their goal card with them tonight? I'm just curious. 1. Who read their goal card, being honest, today? Okay, about half of you. Now, it's very, very important. You know this works, and you've got to work it. The gym works. This is a 5-minute job maximum. And allow yourself to do this. So you're getting a new card, please take it, fill it in. It works when you focus on this. I had a client on the phone today, she said, I think I got a bit out of action, Roy. I forgot to do my card for the last month or so. Things are going backwards. So that's what happens. Don't forget to breathe, or remember to breathe. All together. Every breath I take, I'm getting stronger and stronger. Every breath I take, my immune system is much more powerful. Every breath I take, I bring in love. And every breath I give out, I give love. Stick this one on something that, again, at work that you'll see. We've got Life Magic coming up, and some of you here will come to that. There's, did I say 5 or 7? 5? Who can come? 7. So the first 7 can do that for $7.50. However, we've also got on the 6th, which is the Tuesday. We don't work on Monday, but on the 6th there's a session here to help you build your dream team, to help you build your
One Life
leverage position,
Direct.
One Life Direct business. And some of the people you're going to coach. So if you've got friends, associates, whatever, on the 6th of March here, 6:30, for 7th start, is that One Life at our conference centre here, is the intro, the boardroom intro that you all attended. So that's on. So I'm going to give you some of these to hand out. And make a difference in someone's life. If you want more, let us know. We have, of course, March coming up. We're in Varsity City here that next week. We've got Croesus in Sydney. So if you have friends in Sydney and you want them to come, if you want to note it down, it's we've got a grads night, which is for, like you guys, but in Sydney on the 12th. But on the 13th, there's an intro night, which is Tuesday the 13th of March. And then we have a boardroom intro in Brisbane on the 20th of March, which is a Tuesday. And we also have the ICAN on goals here on the 26th, Monday the 26th, so you'll know that's coming up. And we've got Easter coming the following thing, and I notice this Quantum Being, I'm just amazed. Quantum Being was such a glorious session, they were so taken, and I find this surprising that it's in this. However, there's over 80 people wanting to do this program with Katrina, and I'm just so impressed. So Quantum Being, if you haven't, all of the things we've spoken about today that hold you back is your emotional unfitness. Conscious or unconscious, whichever way you go, you're not really getting that you are energy and consciousness. So there's people here, Steph, you're coming to this if you want to, you've done it, you just did it last time. So Quantum Being's on the 20th of April here on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And they can get all those dates on our website. So if there's anyone interested and you're not sure of the date, go on the website and have a look. You want to hand out those?
Yep, hand them out.
The flyers to everyone.
And while we're handing it out, we're just going to do our best thing. Firstly, I want to congratulate this sensational team who did that. Who's our winning team here on that fantastic book prize? And please choose any book you want up there and get it. Well done. Congratulations. Just a fantastic thing. Who's had some fun today? With the oranges. Was that good? This is a Kelly plan, or just she's an amazing woman. Who's learned something? Who's truly learned something, taking some value? So let me just get a couple of quick value learns. What do we learn? That's the best thing. Go ahead, Nat. We come from abundance. We don't try and get to abundance. We're already abundant. Woo! Good job. Well done. Well done. When you come from that, you'll be right, because your expectation is that. When you come from poverty, you are in poverty. Okay. Next one. Best thing. Yes, sir. Pay conscious attention to what you're wasting. Pay conscious attention to how you make it. In fact, here's the clue. Don't pay, be in consciousness.
And now that it is in consciousness, everyone, like you now, we brought this to your consciousness. So you watch what happens now when you leave this room.
Who found after they did their strategic spending, the first time they started becoming aware of what they were spending? Who found that? That's a consciousness thing. The minute you do it. Okay, what else? Other best thing is going great, guys. Yes, sir. Yeah, put it on your chin.
The key to saving money is why you're saving that money and what you're going to do with that money.
Fantastic thing from Trevor. The reason's greater. The bigger the reason, the facts don't matter. When the reason's there, the whole of the universe shows up. When you show up, the universe shows up. When the universe shows up, so does your wealth. Okay, well done, guys. Beautiful job. Anyone else? Last one. Going once. Yes, Rita, me.
I just wanted to share that if anybody who hasn't done Quantum Being, I'd highly recommend it, because the shift in our home has been amazing since Quantum Being.
The drugs really work.
Yeah, the drugs, yeah. Oh,
They last.
Or lack of, yeah.
They just go inside the system. Where's that Quantum Being people? Who found that true?
Yes.
Yeah, was it good? Yes. Powerful? Fantastic. Good job. Thank you for sharing that. Well done. Okay, little bonus. We done? Just a bonus?
We're going to give more bonus?
More bonuses. Making money simply and saving money. Here it is. Business, property, shares, personal growth, education. Why have a wealth account? Does anyone remember? You can build. It's a money magnet. Who said a money magnet? Over here. You should. Well, we've got one of our coaches here. Yep. You're not allowed to speak now. What else? 4 reasons. Intention. It's a money magnet. Aha, reduce debt. Very clever. Number 3. It's the most boring thing. However, it's like, this is boring, but is it powerful? Let's have a look. Invest your wealth. Money magnet. You can invest to build your wealth, reduce debt, and personal empowerment. It's really investing in yourself. And so these 4, money magnet attracts other money, investing so you can build your wealth, reducing debt, and people say, oh, I'm using my money, my wealth. Yes, if you've got big debt, that's very clever to do that. But the most important is this personal empowerment, which is investing in yourself. In fact, the whole thing is an investment in yourself. Bonus, to do it with ease and grace. Effortless. Everything is effortless. Opening your mind to abundance and possibilities. How to take better care of it. These are the ones that are in that story, so you got it on the video. You can improve happiness. These are the questions. I think that's it, Sam. Is that right?
That's us.
It is. It's good. All right.
Over and out.
You guys are sensational. You are absolutely sensational. Please commit to your cards, your gold card. Make an appointment with yourself. I'm going to do this tonight before I go to bed. I'm going to do it the first thing in the morning. I'm going to do it on the weekend. You choose whenever it is, but choose. And make that appointment with yourself. Please stand up.